Hi. I don't know why the camera started recording, but it did. What's going on, guys? So, I really wanted the camera to be a bit closer, but at this point, it's stuck out there. That's better. All right, guys. So we're gonna do a kind of. How am I getting shadow? I guess I'm getting shadow from him. Gonna do a review slash update video slash custom video. We've got the DNA Designs DKWFC E25 upgrade kit. So this is the first kit for the Scorpio Boy, and then we have the secondary one right here. So we're gonna be doing those. We're gonna be installing them on this big mofo right here. Not entirely certain how I'm going to film this exactly, but this is how I wanted to start the video, and I'm regretting every second of it. So, the first kit is the easy one. So that has instructions. Set the box aside. It's got a big clear visor for the head. It's got a really big gun for Scorpio Boy. Now the odd thing about this is the same gun they use on their Fort Max, but that one's like red or blue depending on the Fort Max, and it does have a gigantic handle for holding, but this one seems to be stuck in place. I can't break it free, but this one actually, despite the fact that it is like this, I'll do close-up reviews of a lot of this stuff here in a minute. You also get replacement shoulder guns. These are fixed and hollow. These are posable. So like I said, I will pull up close versions of that as well. But I want to get these boxes empty. We have big silver bits that have nothing to do with feet, although they look like feet. So those are bits that will go down here on the legs for detail work. And then we've got some extra, dang it, we got some extra fill-in panels. Once again, I will bring the camera around and show that off as we go. I'm going to do what I can to film this because some of this stuff does require taking the big boy apart, including these. You're going to have to set with a couple screws, stuff like that. So, got the instructions. I've got a little screwdriver, I've got lights, and I've got noisy neighbors. So let's figure this out. All right, so up close here we have the gun. You know, it's pretty nice. Just got some orange paint on him. You know what? I gotta turn off that light. Kill off some of that orange. There we go. So the gun looks pretty good. It does pose up and down and has a swivel, plus should be bluish compatible, which is great. His big ass rifle. This gray piece does come off for base mode. We'll see that later on once we get all the upgrades. And then you do have the singular post that will go onto his hand. It is just funny because it is only half of a shroud for the gun. So you got this nice silver paint here, and then it is on the other side as well. And once again, here's this gigantic handle that does not fold down off this guy, which I find really strange, but I guess it is what it is. Here's a silver part that's not a foot, it's just there. It's going to be housing what I assume is these little purple and silver parts on the legs. And then these bits here, which I believe are supposed to act as little ramps and gun mounts for later, plus they're kind of like fill-in pieces also for the leg. We'll look at that as we go. And there's a left and a right one, so they're not the same. So that's always good. And then once again, products instructions. So they're actually very good with their instructions. Last time I had one of these things, not a big deal. All right, so for the head, you want to pull off the horns and just insert that, clip that on, and put the horns back on. So I believe the G1 version had a big clear visor that went over the face. Then we've got, take these things off and then add the upgrade kits. Those are actually pretty simple. And then when you're doing these parts, you got that. So set up the camera here so we can actually do the thing. So of course it can't be one of these big robot videos without a laundry basket in the back. I don't know how or why that became the standard, but it is. So for right now, we're going to remove this guy. I'm going to stick this one on using these 4 posts going on to the original 4. And I believe most of this is going to be for like Scorpion or base mode more than it is for this. But now I've got 4 posts, 2 posts, and we just kind of combine that. We'll say that silver paint really does pop. And this does fit fairly nicely. Except I have it kind of crooked. There we go. If you get it on straight, it goes good. So now we have a big silver dealie. I'll come over to the other side. Thingy. Slip that in right there, nice and easy. Once again, post and holes. Make sure the posts go in first and then the holes line up nicely. Oh, maybe not. There we go. Alright, so that's that. We'll deal with the visor here in a minute. Let's figure out these guys. So I guess maybe you don't have to put a screw in it, but it does actually have a hole if you were to do so. Let's see if I can get this on camera. Oh, it's going to be difficult. So it needs to plug in. It specifically is showing this one. So you want to take the hooked edge and it will go around here like this. And then swing this in and plug that into that hole there. Oh wow, that is not easy. Okay, so that ends up filling in this horrendous gap on the inside of the foot. It's gonna be hard to show. But you can see there. Turn it this way. Whoa, used to gonna do that. So gap filler on that side, and then it does tilt with the ankle, so that's good. Hey, stand back up, fucker. Here, stand like a ballerina. Just everything. It's just everything. The entire backpack gave out all of that noise. Alright, so let's put this one on. So hook it and bring it around. Insert into the hole like so. And presumably that's just going to anchor that nicely, and then when we need them later, that'll be there. So turn the legs back around so we'll try to stand up for us. Okay, and then let's come up top. We'll get out our visor. Which way is up? This way. This seems pretty easy, honestly. And in theory, you can just leave this on even during other modes. Now, I'm not too keen on this, just because it's G1 toy-esque. I just kind of don't care about it. It looks like he's ready for protecting himself from going into public. Got his face shield on there. He's going to serve you at McDonald's. The other thing is guns to replace the other guns. And you can see they're roughly the same size. New ones are bigger and far more posable. Not that you need to throw these away, but you get these. And also they do have the 4 molded holes for other purposes. But it's nice that you can just replace these guys with much cooler guns. Once again, something that's a little bit more prominent in base mode or Scorpion mode. Damn, his backpack will not stay on properly. So like that. This one, I believe. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah. So there we go. Got his classic gigantic ass rifle, which is pretty cool. You can't see, but there it is. You see my lights. You see the lights. It's got a cool side, and then it's got a lame side, but it is what it is. Now, I'm not going to do the transformation stuff right this second for him. So I'm in the shadow of the phone, and I'm in the shadow of him. Lighting, it's important. So it does give you instructions on where things will go later for base mode and for scorpion mode. Oh, I like this, so you can actually tuck his other finger underneath it. I like that. That's pretty neat. So when you flip that up, flip the tail away. Oh, this allows you to plug the gun into the tail in scorpion mode. Okay. So when we get to scorpion mode, we're going to remember that, right? Right. Okay. So that's going to be that. That's going to be that. Okay. So let's work on the second kit, which consists of the new legs for scorpion mode. Ever so important. A new small red visor, see-through visor. More guns, because we always need more guns. We're having those. This one actually does come with screws. That's cool. And it comes with a new enormous shield slash other parts. I'm not entirely certain what they are. They just are sort of there. So out of the box, we got this enormous thing. So that's crazy already. And I think it has posts for mounting it to his arms. I could be wrong. So it's got a buttload of posts, buttload of holes. We got some silver paint. This does come apart for different components. We have more guns, because he didn't have enough, I'll just be honest here. And then we have left and right new legs that are posable. And will probably have enough tension to actually hold his ass up in scorpion mode, maybe. We'll see. Not likely, but it's possible. And you can reuse, actually you're supposed to reuse. That was weird, they wouldn't go all together, but if I moved them separately they would. So you reuse the rest of the legs. In theory, they got the color matching. DNA is very good about color matching. Like, probably the best, if there is, like, thing. Like, they should just work directly for Hasbro, because of all the upgrade kits for these guys, the Studio Series. I believe they have, there's another one I need. Oh, it's for Grimlock, Studio Series Grimlock. So I need that in my life. Okay, so I have a tiny bag of screws, one little guy. I think that's for the visor, which is awesome that they give you a see-through visor, something that Hasbro, in their infinite wisdom, chose not to do. So we have, of course, the big clear one that I just put on there, but the idea that they gave you a big, solid painted, while that looks fantastic under normal circumstances, they actually gave him full eyes and everything underneath. So why they did that, your guess is as good as mine. So I'm going to remove the headmaster and try to remember how this guy unfolds, because it's been a long time. And then I looked ahead at the instructions. So basically you can take his head apart. There's like a couple screws. Okay, so from head mode, pull out the sides. I'll come down. Okay. All right, let's pull that open. Okay, so that gives you access to the inside, more or less. Gotta get the right angle on it though. Where did I? Okay. Should I use the... Okay, so it says... Get rid of the original screw. Okay. So I pulled that one out. What does it want me to do? Ow. Okay. So, new translucent part. Insert. Oh crap, where'd the screw go? Oh, there it is. Don't want to tighten it down too much because it's translucent. But now we have visible eye syndrome. That's pretty cool, not gonna lie. I mean, the solid ones look great, except that the only time you could see his wonderfully painted robot eyes is when he's mid-transformation, and that's it. Like, he's got some very nicely painted eyes. I wish they had articulated the mouth. That would have been cool. Okay, so let's put this all back together. It's facing the wrong way. I will say the little headmaster thing there is annoying. That's one thing they should give you, is a replacement connection for that, so like you're not relying on that little piece of crap. Maybe it's supposed to be this way. That makes more sense in my mind. Maybe not. Yeah, because it doesn't even fit going the other way. Always gotta drop stuff. Okay, so let's see how he looks with the brand new head complete. Strange, but cool, I guess. Alright, so put his head back on, which of course you have to put the collar back on or else it doesn't work. And here we go. There he is in that mode. Now we have two more guns. Those will go on the back side. I don't make the rules, it's just how it's supposed to be. And you can angle them however you want. It's up to you. I don't want them too spread because I think it looks ridiculous. So now we come to the part I don't know. Hold on. Okay, so if we take the original shield, which is on his back, you know, this one, you can put it on this guy. Fits very nicely. You gotta really kind of mash it in now. So we get an enormous shield like that, and then what do we use to connect it? Trying to figure out where it's mounted to. I guess it's if you're putting it on his back. No, that's on his arm. Oh, okay, I see. There's two holes here. I didn't realize. So there's a couple holes right there. I was trying to figure out, I was like, what is it pointing at? I was like, I know that's got to go on the arm somehow. So let's see here. Oh yeah, that is now a sizable scorpion shield. Look at that guy. Look at that. See, that looks like something now. And considering I'm going to have him in bot mode for the most part, that's something that's great. Now, they do have another kit that will be coming, and it is their upgrade kit to make him taller. It adds thicker and taller thighs and then a couple other small things to really build him out. And I think that is necessary because he's not big enough. You know, he's supposed to be second only to Fort Max, if I remember correctly. And he's not, you know. And that will also put him better on par with my Omega Supreme that I have him facing off against. As it is, I do believe you can hide this on the back still. It's a little more difficult, but I believe you can. Either that or it's you got to break it down and then it'll fit. Because I don't think... Yeah, because I wasn't using the shield at all. So maybe you can't really hide it on his backpack as it is. Okay. So what we're going to do is try to get this thing apart. So one thing you can do is... I'm not sure I can do this with the shield on, so let's see if I can get the shield off first. And of course, I left my spudgers in the other room. Cleaned out the table so that I could do this. Left my spudger in the other room. That is tough to push out. Ow! Always good when your toys hurt you. Would have been cool if they gave us some upgrades to these claws so they weren't as hollow. So, I mean, even though they do hollow stuff, it's fine. Okay, so you want to pop these up and then slide them out. So you get this. Same thing on this side. Slide it apart. And then you'll get this, which serves a little bit of purpose once we get to Scorpion mode. We're not there. So I will have to transform him to Scorpion mode to do most of the rest of this. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and transform these guys. So this looks like it's supposed to be a gun of some sort. I believe that in base mode, these play a bigger purpose. Maybe. Maybe not. I guess they just kind of help fill in bits and pieces. But for the most part, you want to just go ahead and fold it over. And then there's a tab there that will go into a slot there. And it's a little stiff, but you can get it. Did it go? It's always kind of hard to tell because it doesn't snug down like a lot. So like that one's not going. You heard that one for sure. This one didn't make that noise. So these are going to mount to somewhere on the body. I forget where. Hold on. Where are they in Scorpion mode? I think they mount to his hands realistically. Or to his claws. So we'll set these aside for the time being. I think they're just meant to be like armor. There's nothing crazy about them. I feel like these weren't really necessary except to bulk out the shield. I'm going to put him in Scorpion mode. I'm going to put him in Scorpion mode and then come right back. Okay, so Scorpion mode. We got the new guns up here. Looks good. Of course, the visor and stuff makes no difference here. We've got the new guns here. We've got this section built out here. And then it's a little awkward, but the new little pieces there sort of in the way. Now, there's more to do with what we already have. So I'm going to push some bits away here. And like I said, if you really want to, you can find a place for your pre-existing parts. So let me set the camera up. Try to get this. Oh, wait. I got to switch this. Okay. All right, so part of what we're going to be doing is back here, and it involves this chunky piece. And double check which way it's supposed to go. The skinny part is basically supposed to go right up in here inside the tail, and then you can take this and plug it back in like it was originally. Can't see. There we go. I guess that's meant to just kind of fill in some of that hollowness that was back there, because that was a pretty hollow piece, more or less. And I guess when you just have a part that's there, you got to do it. Now, we do have the Scorpion tail that we can modify as well. So he does have a port here, but you don't really want to do anything with that. Same thing, another port there for plugging on other things. But what you want to do, slip that around, and now we have a big hole right there. And I've got a big gun. And that's on these instructions. I just want to make sure 100% what I'm doing. Yep, okay. Pointy bit down. This section right here is specifically shaped, and that plugs in right there. Now it's a close orange, but this one is, you can see the difference there. So you can, in fact, have an enormous cannon for your Scorpion friend. So now he's got, you know, 4 big guns out here. I wish this tabbed together a bit better. I thought it did in this mode. Now, the other thing is we have these parts, and those plug in to the forearms. Let me double check. Silver part down. So take this and it will plug in to here. Once again, I don't know if this is meant to do anything other than look cool. Just literally a rule of cool situation. Rotate the arm around. Yeah. And by the way, I had to turn the AC off for this because it's always annoying having the AC come on in the middle of these videos. So we've got big old chunkin' arm bit here. Oh, his head's popping off. Damn, Scorpio boy. Why's your head not staying on? That's weird. Yeah. See, I always hated this. Like, I would say, once again, I believe I mentioned this in the reviews, you can glue that collar on and probably be happy with your life. Maybe the headmaster's on. Wrong. Okay, so the next thing to do is the legs. And that's going to require some surgery, so I'm going to unplug the tail because we got to flip this guy over. Just remove stuff that I know is going to pop off. I would probably put these here on top, personally. That's me. You don't have to do that. So let's flip him over because we need to get to the underside. Alright. So now we have a splayed out cavity, as it were. It does say to go ahead and remove this. I don't know how. Okay, push it down. Okay, so we've successfully removed the tail. I believe we need to remove the wheels because we're going to need those. That's not coming off. Okay, so there's 4 screws here and here. To very carefully go in here. Okay, that one's loose. See, the funny thing is, they also change out the color, because these are purple, and we're going to replace them with gray ones. Also, this feels like Operation, just because of the way he's facing. Okay. I don't know. Does somebody use the new screws? Yeah, I think it says to use the new screws. So I probably should have done that before too. Okay, so that removes literally that entire chunk. There we go. Okay. That's fine. So I need to pop the wheels out. And the other thing, so here's the funny part. They just have you remove all the scorpion legs like this. Literally, this is what the instruction tells you to do. Utilize the hinge to pop those out. Also, I never felt how cheap these feel until now. Set at this size. Okay, so this, look at this, they even copied the mold. So, I mean, they did a really good job here. Okay, so this is the left side one, and the right side one. So you can see here what they did. They basically copied this exact section because it was easier to do all of this than try to remove the single pin that holds all these together. So these are paired 2 and 2, not to mention have no posability. These have posability. So we're going to slap this in there. I assume that they went with gray on purpose. Okay, so let's get the new screws. Now, the screwdriver used to be magnetic. I guess it chose not to be now. Okay. Okay, that one got some purchase to it. Okay. Where's my other step? Oh, blind. Okay. Yeah, push it down all the way. Because there's this little ridge right there. Makes me wonder if I got it all the way. Because I don't think it did. Yeah. Might have to give that a little squeeze. Hold on. So now I'm worried that I stripped those screws and didn't seat that all the way. Undo the screws because it doesn't look flush. I think it's meant to be. Yep, it was meant to be flush. It was not. What's going on here? Somebody's holding up progress. Okay, so significantly later, I finally got them in there. I did have to shave off quite a bit of plastic with these guys, and well, I think the size was right. I think these screws just weren't getting deep enough, so I went back to the original screws just to get that done. And you can just see how I've kind of had to explode him quite a bit, you know, just to get it. So let's see here. I'll just put him back kind of the way he needs to be. Put all the toes back on. You can see that the plastic is close enough pretty easy to insert these like that. I do gotta wonder if it'll be a little bit stronger on the, like if it wants to stand up or not. It's funny, the new legs, the new parts of the legs, feel like real Bandai plastic, and the parts that were original Bandai, or Hasbro plastic, feel cheap as crap. It's kind of funny. I think I like the gray back. That actually looks pretty neat. I do need to get the okay, so you gotta make sure I get them all the way down until it snaps into place. Gotta double check that side. I think that one's in. Yeah. Just got a bit of friction to it, which is a good thing. Okay. So now we can spread the legs out and actually make them look a bit better. Of course, the mummy just looks like a turtle stuck on his back. Oh, maybe the knees are going to be strong enough for that. We'll see. Flatten out the toes, the tippy tips of the claws. Flip over. I mean, that already looks better. I still doubt it'll hold him up by any means, but you know, it's just something you can do. Front legs can't come too far forward, but oh wow, yeah. I mean, there needs to be some pivot or swivel to it, but it works. Spread it out a bit so they're not like tied together. It just gives a little bit more personality. I guess if you're going super flat and wide, that's what you end up with. Basically what you end up with is a hand, for lack of a better term, because it's basically acting like 4 individual fingers. Let's get the claws up here. Where'd his head go? Head keeps popping off super easy. Like it's not seated right. See, that's not even clipping in worth a damn. Okay. Yeah, see, that's just not biting at all. Let's see, does that work better? I think that does. Gotta do all these things. And yeah, I'm super sweaty because, like I said, I had to turn the AC off. And it's been a chore moving this big boy around. Look at this. So the head instantly wants to fall off as soon as I put the collar on. Those two things kind of suck. So now I've got parts that I don't need. I need to get these wheels out of here. So let's pop the wheels out. I gotta put the tail back on. Also, I dropped the screws, like the new ones. It's like, so they're on the floor somewhere. But that's interesting. Like, so these were all tied together. So that's trash. Guns. Okay, big boy. Let's flip you back over again for the 17th time. So I can pop those back in. I don't know how you get on the seat. I guess like that. Okay. Hope that did not seat all the way. There we go. Alright, wheels are installed on the bottom of the big boy. Gotta put this back on, which goes this way. I mean, I gotta hand it to Hasbro, you know, they really did make it to where, for the most part, you could disassemble this guy with very minimal tools. Most people aren't taking their transformers apart though. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. So I gotta get that reinstalled now. Okay, one last time. Flip him back over for Scorpion mode. It would be nice if the arms could rotate above the elbows so you could actually get the claws to sit flat. Okay, where's my big old gun? Stick that guy back in. Just cool, into the sun right. Gigantic ass gun. Then let's take these guys. Right there. Right there. Okay. So I will say at the moment the ability to spread the legs is pretty damn pointless. The only thing that would work for it is if the only real way these would kind of make a difference is if they could hold him up. But he's so damn heavy. Like there's no possibility of that. I mean, like even at this height, it's still kind of dropping, and that's with nothing holding him up from behind. So if he had something in the back to hold him up, that would make sense. Otherwise, the legs are kind of weird because they would spread out like this. So look, this is how they do from the factory. You get that angle on it, so you get that. Plus they're separated, so I mean, that's something, I guess. Get these cannons up, get his head right. Keeps dropping. Arms up. See, the stupid thing is that the elbows are integrated into that, and it's just dumb, in my opinion. I don't know what just fell, but I felt it. So what would be nice is if someone redeveloped a bicep for him that had a swivel above the elbow so that you could use that elbow in this mode, because that way you could turn the arms around or turn the biceps around and get the elbows to go up and down to some degree. I mean, I don't know how I would do that realistically, but something, you know. But there he is in ridiculous Scorpion mode. It's pretty badass, not gonna lie. Okay, so now I've got to figure out how to get him into base mode, and that's been a minute. And I really got to cool down. It's just way too hot in here. Alright, so took me a minute to remember how to get him into base mode, but here we go. So this is base mode without any of the new stuff added, with the exception of the legs. You do have to stick the head in a little bit differently than normal. You can't always just leave the head attached because it'll be sticking out the back. With the visor and everything, you want to turn it in there sideways and remove Zarek here if you want to. So the rest of it is basically the same as it always is. So even with the new guns, you can take these guys, plug them in, and then that will become part of the tower. And it just looks a little bit better with that extra silver, in my opinion. Like that. So there we go. Where did the other things go? Okay, so with these guys, make sure which way they're supposed to face. Like this. Where's the other one? So with the thing back here, I believe you just... Oh, that's weird. Hold on. I'm trying to see exactly how that's plugged in. That doesn't make a lot of sense. There's no post. How's it plugged in there? I'm looking at it upside down. I'm looking at it upside down. Okay, so you plug this in here on these two spots where the cannons used to go. Now I would have thought that you would unfold these and make them into more towers or something, because you know they have, you know, they've got all this going on. I figured you would make those into taller towers or something, but there's no good way to plug that in. So except in shield mode, the extended part of this doesn't have a purpose. Another thing, so this is one of the dumber things. So you grab this guy, you can just sort of tuck it under here. Like it doesn't have a, it doesn't like plug in or anything. It just sort of rests down here, and you just close that on top of it. Just, it's like a barrier. Probably the weakest use of anything new. Oh, I forgot about the gun. So the gun, the rifle as it were, you actually take the gray piece off, which is just plugged in, but it's pretty tight on this side. There we go. So that whole bit comes off, and let's see, the gun plugs in on this side. I believe he's in a post back here. Yeah. So we got that as a tower. Let's rotate this guy. Presumably you're going to use this post on the opposite side. Or, no, I did it backwards. Okay, so that adds another tower. So now we've got all kinds of stuff happening. And like I said, to me it would have made more sense for, I've got some orange shavings there, for these guys to extend and become something a little bit different. Or maybe plug in somewhere else. So another thing is, you have these guns. If you rotate them a bit, turn them this way, and plug them in down here, which is hard to see. So now you've got a little bit more forward weaponry, as it were. Does it matter which way you go? No. As long as you're facing up and out. That. Now you could probably set those in any post you want. This is just how the instructions show to do that number, I guess. So one thing that's really dumb about using this way is these posts here and then these posts here just end up sticking out, and that just looks dumb in my opinion. It's like they could have found somewhere else for that to go, and I guess if you want, you can pull out your little tiny Lord Zarek here, little tiny headmaster guy, who, where is his little spot? Right here. Like that. Oh, I did forget to plug this one in, didn't I? Didn't I? Alright. There. Alright, so there we go. There's Scorponok base mode with the add-ons. Nothing too crazy, but I like the addition of having the giant cannon over here. I would have thought that this part down here would have had more of an effect, but realistically, all this little guy here does is fill in when the ankles are out, so that it's not just kind of out there and dumb. So, I mean, it's just there. And like I said, if you don't like this position, not saying you can't add it to, I guess it doesn't like that hole. Go right there. You know, have more forward-facing artillery. I mean, you can even flip it over I could cover down a little bit better. That hole's not quite the same. Just, you know, it's your thingy. You can figure out how you want to play with it. Okay. Does seem like only certain, like, all the holes look like they're roughly the same, but some are probably closer to 6 mil than they are 5 mil. But yeah, ultimately, this is a great set. I can't wait to get the leg extensions. I think that's going to be, no pun intended, a bigger success. And I think this ultimately works, with the exception of this piece that just doesn't seem to have a purpose right here. Like for me, I would have liked a way to like extend the road part out, as it were. They should have sent a new piece like for here that's actually painted. That would have been cool. But I guess in theory you get stickers for that from you know, repro labels or something. The new silver bits here serve no purpose other than to fill in behind these things. So I mean, it's interesting. I like the addition of the giant gun. It's cool in virtually all modes. I like that it just turns into a tower here, even though it would be great to see if it could be something else. Also, still wish I could actually access the handle, but it is what it is. But guys, that's going to be it for this review slash build, I guess, however you want to put it. And I hope you have enjoyed. I know it's a little bit cumbersome. It's always hard to do these big bots because I have to do them out here in the living room and it doesn't look as cool or anything else like that. And after this, I'm probably going to end up packing this guy up because we're going to be moving here in less than a month and I got to start putting away everything. But guys, I'll catch you on the next review, and remember, as always, keep on nerding.